Really.
All right. Hey, man, it's great to connect. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for your time. I'm trying to connect you since December. Now the
Yep,
time
yep.
came.
We got it.
Firstly, thank you very much, James, for giving me opportunity to interview you for my YouTube channel and podcast.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I always wonder like how far the reach goes, and when people from India reach out to me, I know that it's going far.
So I've gone through your profile. I came to know that you are into sales. So I can see you have huge experience. You worked in different places and different roles. So I thought to tell about everything to my audience.
Yeah, let's do it.
So can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is James Buckley. You probably have seen my content, and I go by James Saywhatsales Buckley. That's my personal brand, hashtag Saywhatsales. I train salespeople how to be more human in their process, plain and simple. Do the research, take the time, show people that you care, make strategies, create tactics that let people know you know them and what you're selling to them, what you're presenting to them is relevant to them and what they do and how they go through their day-to-day routines. If we can just slow down and really get to know our prospects better, I think more sales would happen. We'd be able to help more people. And isn't that why we're here? So that's my goal every day, is to get in front of frontline sellers and show them different tactics that they can use to be more human in their sales process.
So you are from and where do you exactly work?
So I'm with JB Sales. I work with John Barrows, Morgan J. Ingram, Leslie Douglas, Shelly Gupta Correa, all the sales trainers that you see online. They're all my colleagues, and I am very fortunate to work for this team. Our why, our mission, is to elevate the sales profession to where it needs to be. There's a really terrible stigma around salespeople, and I always use this understanding of like the car salesman. When you see car salesmen, there's this like sleazy, slimy feeling to them. You don't want to talk to them, right? You want to buy the car, but you don't want to talk to the salesperson. So I try to remove that stigma from people and show them that there is a more consultative approach. And I think JB Sales and Sell Better do a great job. So we have Sell Better by JB Sales. We have a membership that we offer salespeople where they can come and interact with us and get the help they need. And that for me is like my bread and butter. I absolutely love helping frontline sales reps in real time. So if any reps out there want to connect with me and talk about something you're struggling with, it can be anything you want. Email, phone call, social selling, personal branding. We got it all covered.
So you mentioned human. So what is that?
Yeah, so we have this awful habit of what I call spray and pray, right? We write an email about us, usually 100% about us, and then we make a list of thousands of people sometimes, and then we spray out this message to everybody that we can. And we say to ourselves, I'm only going to respond to people that want to buy from me. So then we go through and we remove all the other people. We delete all the other people that are like unsubscribe, 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 right? When we're human with it, we can create 15, 20% personalization in a message. I would rather send 10 emails and schedule 4 meetings than send 300 emails and schedule no meetings. So that's what I mean when I say be more human, right? Show people that you took the time. Let them know that this wasn't an automated message. There's a time and a place for automation, but it's not in your prospecting, not anymore.
So tell me more about your job.
Yeah, so I am Chief Evangelist and MC host, Master of Ceremonies for all of the JB Sales webinars. My job is to come online with hundreds, sometimes thousands of people and drive the conversation. So we bring on guests that are strong personal brands, sales professionals, people that have knowledge to deliver, and we facilitate a conversation around multiple topics. So sometimes this is email structure, sometimes it's how to build that personal brand. Sometimes it's social selling or LinkedIn best practices, LinkedIn sales navigator strategies, tools that might be able to help you. We show people all these things so that they can go and get the tools they need, learn the strategies they need to be the best sellers that they can be. So I host all of those shows. Sometimes there are 2 or 3 a week. Sometimes it's just one. Sometimes I'm on other people's shows, like now I'm on your show. But the whole idea is like, what do we say? What can we say to help salespeople understand their true value for their companies, for themselves, and for their customers? That's my job.
Fantastic. And it's very important for any business.
Well, if you want your business to thrive, you need people. And to keep people, you have to provide them with an environment that they're bought into. They are on board. They're on your boat. So in sales specifically, we know the data is very clear. The average sales professional only stays at one company for 18 months. That's it. And then they're on to the next company. Why? Most of the time, it's because they think they want more money. It's because they think they deserve a promotion. It's because they're looking for that next role or the next step in their lives. What they don't realize, I think, is that sometimes they run full speed right at that promotion, and what they don't see is the journey along the way. So they think to themselves, and we see this a lot, an SDR, a sales development rep who makes cold calls and sends cold emails, will be promoted to an account executive. This is where they close deals now. So then they stop prospecting. If you're paid to close deals, don't you think you should keep prospecting so that you can close more deals? But they don't. And then when they get into their one-on-ones, they say things like, SDRs didn't provide me with enough meetings, and that's why I missed my quota. No. You should be prospecting. You should be responsible for a certain percentage of your own pipeline because you're a sales professional, not because it's someone else's job to set you up with meetings. So these are mentalities that we bring to the table in all of our content so that folks can understand that this is a career, not a job. This is something that you can dedicate your life to and be extremely successful, whatever that might look like to you. Usually it starts out as money and then it becomes something else. But success is the goal every time, all the time.
What is sales?
What is what?
What is sales?
Sales is a career. It's a career path. It's the number one career. It's the number one career. More people become sales professionals than any other profession in the world. And it is the highest and the lowest paid profession in the world.
So, what are the things that works to be a bestseller?
Well, let's go back to 2015. You probably could play the numbers game, the law of averages. Like I said, we were writing emails and just spraying it out to all these people, right? Numbers make great salespeople. The numbers, the KPIs, key point indicators, the metrics that you look at, how many cold calls did you make, how many emails did you send, how many LinkedIn messages did you send, right? That stuff matters because it equals sales. But the number one sellers in the world will tell you they're everywhere. They are on every platform. They create content. They drive conversation from one place to another. They earn calls outside of the inbox. They go to networking events. They put content out on all these platforms to drive engagement and then follow up, right? Sales today has 2 different players in the game. So one of those players is the type that comes in, just goes through the motions, right? I come in and I dial and I smile and I read my script. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, fine. I don't care, right? Whatever. I still get a check at the end of the week. So I'm good. The other seller is the one that comes in and says, these are my accounts. I need to do some research on 4 of them today so that I can get new prospects in the top of my funnel. So let's spend 10 minutes on every one of these accounts and find a trigger, something to reach out to them with context and add value to their lives. these are your top performers. There's really no middle ground. Very few people are operating in both spaces. Very few people have call blocks where they're just randomly doing things to go do them. Most people come in with a very specific plan, or at least most successful people come in with a very specific plan, and then they execute. Morgan J. Ingram, my good friend and my colleague, will say, unorganized planning leads to sporadic and unorganized results. But when salespeople come in with a plan and execute on that plan, they have expected results that are met 100% of the time.
So, which communicating platform is more useful or more connective to do sales?
So it's a good question. Right now, I think LinkedIn is probably the one that leads the league. But what I'm seeing is people are connecting outside of LinkedIn first and then finding me on LinkedIn. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm prospecting my customers, my prospects, and I'm sending them emails and I'm making phone calls, but then I'm also going and I'm following them on Instagram. I'm finding them on TikTok right now, and I'm following them on TikTok, right? And then I'm seeing them on LinkedIn come to me. Really weird, right? But like, omnipresence is the way to go. There's no one channel. There's only the channel that gives your prospect the dopamine hit that prompts them to swipe right and reply to you. So you want to use all the platforms because you need to know where your prospects spend their time getting that social media fix that we all need in our lives, right? We're all out there. So how do we use this to our advantage and harness it so that we can earn conversations? We meet people where they are.
So, in different platforms, audio, video, and text, there are different platforms to communicate human beings, to tell what we are creating or what service that we are providing. So, what is the best way to present the product or the service?
I always want the meeting. I use all these vehicles to earn a meeting with somebody. And that's where I show my service, my product, share my screen for a moment. But I think sales has changed. It used to be about presentations, and now it's more about conversations. So if you have an opportunity to share something on a screen, send a screenshot, pull up your screen share really quick and show something, but then take it down. Come back to the box. You, me, talking, building a relationship, a bridge between us, right? Like that's what sales has become in 2022. So I always say, like, yes, you can send a video. You can do it on almost every platform now. You can send vidyards and looms and drift videos via email if you want to. You can send plain text. You can leave voice notes. I love voice notes. Very cool, right? Big response rates with voice notes. But most people only think, I'm going to send an email, I'm going to call, I'm going to reach out on LinkedIn. What you're doing there is basically screaming to somebody, I just want to sell you something. But when I follow you on LinkedIn, and then I follow you on Twitter, and then I connect with you on Instagram, and then I call you and I leave you a message, and then I send you an email, I just became a human being. Somebody that cares, somebody that's real, flesh and bone. And once that checkbox goes off in somebody's head, it's very difficult for people to ignore it.
And I can see you are a chief evangelist and a master of ceremonies at JB Sales.
Yeah.
So tell me more about it.
Yeah, so I preach the good gospel of sales and what it can do for your life. I run around and I help SDRs that are new figure out their bearings, get some foundational building blocks. I help veteran SDRs find new tactics that they've never used before to help their sales game and their results. We help AEs negotiate, drive conversations, figure out where to spend their time, what's going to close, what's not, better forecasting, right? We help senior AEs to get to that next level. Sometimes it's VP or director of a department. Sometimes it's customer success. Our customer success director, Meg Holsinger, probably the best customer success director you've ever seen. Like, I've never seen anything like it. But that's the whole point, is like, my job is to preach that good gospel of hey, this is a long-standing career that can serve you quite well and get you to success, whatever that might look like. And it looks different for every person. As I stated earlier, I think most people get into sales thinking they're going to make a lot of money. And that's because in that moment, they need money. But sales is an opportunity for money to start coming in waves that you never imagined. And once that starts happening, it's not about money anymore. So we have to move the goalpost. It's become about something else now. And it's usually something a little less tangible. I want financial security. I want investments. I want a college tuition for my family, my kids. I want security for my wife, a life insurance policy, health benefits, right? A new car, right? These are all things that people end up moving from money to after they join sales and figure out, holy shit, I'm really good at this. But they have to have that epiphany of, oh man, I'm really good at this. If they don't have that epiphany, they end up failing, or at least getting scared enough that they're not going to be good enough for this job, or they're not capable, and they run away. They end up going back to whatever it was they did before sales. I've done that many times. I've had a lot of really shitty jobs that led me to this point.
I got you. So you're also a director of business development, partner manager at JB Sales.
Yeah. Yeah. We like partners. You might have noticed that we are sponsored by Salesforce Sales Cloud, Proposify, Gong, Vidyard, a bunch of other ones. Dooley just jumped on board. That's awesome. Reprise is like our newest sponsor. So we have a lot of great solutions that sponsor our content. And my friend Kelly Driscoll, he's our partnerships director. Him and I and Morgan, we all kind of work together to find holes. Like, we don't have this in our partnership stack. Okay, well, who does that? Let's go talk to them and see if our audience could use their product. And then we'll come out and we'll talk about their product. They sponsor events. They sponsor the stuff that we're doing, running around, throwing parties. We're headed to Austin in June so that we can rent out this great pub and throw this great party. And it's just a social hour. Like, come on out, let's hang out, let's meet, right? It turns out people like humans. So high five, man, I'm human too, right? So all of our sponsors, our partners, have their logo everywhere. They rep us. They talk about us with their people. We talk about them. We suggest their products and services. It's a very good marriage. As far as the business development side, man, I am a lead magnet. Like, my energy pulls people towards me. And that's all top of the funnel, right? Place your email here and let's connect. Let's build a relationship together. I can help you. And if I can't help you, I'm the first person to be like, you know who you should talk to? And then I send you to go somebody else that you can help you, right? So it's okay if I'm not your resource. I still want to be the resource that gets you to the resource. And because of that, we end up with so many top of the funnel leads. I mean, our social game drives so much engagement and inbound influx of content and comments and requests. This is the nature of what a smooth prospecting engine should be based on, is how much traction can I develop, and then how do I follow up with it to create opportunity. So I always give this funnel, right? This is like, if you've ever Googled sales funnel, what you see is all this crazy stuff in these funnels because they're usually designed by marketers. But this is the real sales funnel. Content is the road to connection. That connection should lead to conversation. That conversation gives way to a relationship. Some people call this trust. Once I have it, I should have no problem either uncovering or driving for an opportunity. And the law of averages says the more opportunities I have, the more sales I make, right? So stop with all the complicated funnel stuff and just connect with people and have conversations to build relationships. The rest will take care of itself.
When did you understood that there is a salesperson in you? When you understood that there is a person who can sell something in you?
I was 12 years old and I really wanted a ferret. And my dad said that if I wanted this animal, I would have to pay for it myself. So I got a red wagon that we had and I filled it up with car wash stuff. And I went door to door in my neighborhood every day for like 10 weeks. just offering to wash people's cars. And I'm from Miami, Florida. And in Miami, the pollen and everything is really bad. But then also the salt in the air from the ocean will mess your car up if you don't keep your car clean. So as I'm going door to door, I'm collecting, I'll do it for $10, $10, right? I was really short, really small amount. So everybody was, yeah, sure, no problem. Well, door to door for a couple of weeks, all it took, I had plenty of money. So I went to my dad and I said, Dad, let's go. I've got the money. And he was like, what? I said, yeah, I got the money. Let's go. We're going to get the ferret, right? So I ended up buying this ferret. It lived a life. It was a good life. But that was when I think I realized, like, hey, I can do that, you know? And then fast forward to my adult life, I think it was Orkin Pest Control, 2013, 2014, when I really took a step forward and leveraged the brand. I used to door-to-door residential, so I was knocking on doors, right? And I'd knock on your door, and then I'd say, hey, let me do a free pest inspection for you. I noticed you got some spider webs out here. You might have some issues inside. Let's, you know, but you might not know it to look at me now, but I'm 300 pounds, man. Like, if you're home alone, you're not letting me in the house. That's probably not happening, right? So every morning I would knock on doors and I would get doors, you know, never opened. I would always get, you know, go away. I'm not good, right? No, I'm not going to open the door for you. So then I would spend my lunches going to gas stations and Walmarts, and I would sit in the parking lot and eat my sandwich on the back of the Orkin Pest Control truck. And if you know Orkin, you know the big red diamond is Orkin Pest Control. And I was the Orkin man. Mustache, hard hat, white shirt, pencil pocket protector, the whole nine, right? And people would always interrupt me at lunch. Hey, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question about ants? Can I ask you a question about bees? I have like roaches in my house, I think. Can you come to my house? And I used to get so mad. I'd be like, man, I just want to eat my lunch. These people don't leave me alone. And I was like, James, what are you thinking? Like, these people want to do business with you and you're upset because they're interrupting your lunch. So the brand part of it really hit me. I stopped knocking on doors and I just started moving the truck from place to place and sitting on the back of the truck. And people would come to me. I stopped going to them and I was setting appointment after appointment after appointment because they were coming my way. I wasn't going their way. My brand was attracting them. So then I built Saywhatsales, and the same thing started happening with that now that I'm in SaaS.
So different humans take things in different way. They'll be in different moods and they'll be in their own world. So how do you start conversation?
You mean, how do I prioritize?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, before telling about the product or the service that you have, how do you
Oh,
start?
yeah. So I usually start with them, and like Morgan and I both do this, where we'll say, hey, let me tell you what I know, and you can tell me if I missed anything. That's great. Here's the thing. You actually have to know something. So like, do the research, go on the website. Let me tell you what I know about your company and you. And if I missed anything, then you can fill in the blank for me. Is that cool? No one ever says no. So you go off. You say, well, I see you guys do product adoption, and I see that you're the VP of sales, and you manage, I think, what looks like about 13 to 15 people. Is that right? And they're like, yeah, that's right. And you're like, cool. So let me tell you the reason I wanted to have this call today, and then you can tell me what you want to get out of the call. Is that fine? Everybody says yes. So you say, I want to show you how we can help your salespeople be more human in their process. What do you want to get out of the call from me? And then you shut your mouth and you let them tell you what they want. And then don't go into your stuff. Talk about what they want first. Then when the time is right and the conversation is over, you can go, so let me show you my stuff. And they're like, yeah. Right? But you'll notice that this is not the traditional sales route. Let me tell you the traditional sales route. Everybody listening to this, you're going to understand. This is the traditional way to do it. Hi, my name's James, and I'm calling from JB Sales, and we're the leading provider of sales training for most software companies. I would love to connect and have a quick conversation about how you're driving leads for your organization and your team. Already, people hear this and they're like, nope, done, right? And that's because everything I said was about me. None of it was about them.
So how to tell about the product or the service?
You're going to know when you tell about that, when they ask about it, or when you naturally transition over to the product after they tell you what they want to get out of the call. Sometimes you don't get the chance to talk about your product. That's okay. I don't think that people understand that their job, especially SDRs, their job is not to sell something. In fact, I would argue that most salespeople have never sold anything in their lives. The most successful salespeople lead prospects down a path of value, and that prospect chooses to buy. Nowhere is this more obvious than in retail. When you buy something, you've never gone to the store and bought milk because somebody called you, Sai, and was like, hey, Sai, we got the milk. Come on back. You need it. Come on. Like that's never happened. So we're not going to sell you on our call. That's not going to happen. We're going to sell you over the course of several calls. We're going to sell you each time we set a defined next step. Each time we add another stakeholder to the conversation and they join the next call. That's where we sell. That's where we start talking about our value and the things that we do in our product. But I'm not talking about the whole product. That's the biggest problem that salespeople have today. We share our screen and we go, okay, we're going to go through 50 things. Are you ready? Can you see my screen? Can everybody hear me? Cool. And then we just start. Let me tell you that every single decision maker, when that happens, immediately goes like this. Uh-huh. 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 What was that? What'd you say? Yeah, no. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, thanks for the time. And then the call is over and you've done absolutely nothing valuable because they didn't even bother to look. And we say these things along the way. We say these things. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions? I want to pause right here so you can jump in and ask any questions. No questions. Like blow my brains out. This is terrible, right? Here's a better way to do it. I want to share my screen and show you something, but before I do, what did you want to see? What's the problem you want to solve? I'll just show you that. Everybody buys for the 20%. We might have 10 things that our product does, but the person we're talking about, the person we're talking to, only cares about 2 of those things. So you just sell those 2 things. Let the customer success person deal with the adoption of the rest of the product. That's their job. If you're an AE, just sell the 2 things they care about. Don't worry about the rest of it. And if you're an SDR, dude, qualify, discover, ask questions, find out how serious this product is. No, one of the best questions you can ask on any discovery call is, what's the impact of this to your business on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis? You need something there to be able to say, yeah, this is a good fit. We can solve that problem. If you don't have anything there, it's not a problem.
Are you connected?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I got you. And you worked in different positions. Also, you are into board of directors and host of Uncrushed podcast. You're into this for 2 years, 11 months.
You're talking about the ring lead? What are you talking about?
Uncrushed.
Oh, yeah, Uncrushed. So we were talking about mental health through Uncrushed. So I sit on the board of directors, uncrushed.org. We want to talk about mental health issues in sales. Look, we all go through things. Grief, loss, depression. These are all things that people go through every day. And we have to come to work and we have to perform in the face of these things. And there's a fear, I think, that salespeople have, especially top performers, of going into their boss's office and being like, my grandmother died. I have to go away for a few days. And there's this like grieving period that they have to go through. Managers sometimes are not sensitive to this. Companies sometimes are not sensitive to this. We have to change that. We have to allow people to go through their process of grief and loss and depression and anxiety. Some people have ADHD. Some people have hyperactivity. You can tell that I'm extremely energetic, right? My crash is really big because I'm very hyper. People struggle with mental issues all through their lives. And work gets in the way of our coping mechanisms to overcome those mental health issues. And our mental health issues get in the way of us being successful professionally. Uncrushed is a platform that will help people understand they're not alone in being able to overcome these mental health issues. There's a load of resources on the website. I strongly recommend that you check out uncrushed.org if that sounds like something that would help you.
So what are the common mistakes that most of the sales persons will do?
The most common mistake is unloading all of your value in a single sentence. I get a lot of people that write emails and they're like, this is how the email goes. It'll be like, hi, Sai. I'm James and I'm reaching out with X company. X company does this and this and this and this and this and this. And it is the worst possible experience for a decision maker because they have no idea what to reply to. It's too much information for me. It's all at once. If you look at the 10 things that your company's product might do, you need to be spreading that conversation out amongst hundreds of cadence email steps, social steps, call steps. There's so much value in just talking about one thing for an extended amount of time. And if you don't get a response, that's all right, because you have 9 other values that you can do the same thing with. The goal here is professional persistence. But we unload everything all at once in a single email, and then we go, nope, they didn't respond, they're not interested. And then we give up. We don't reach back out to that person because they're like, no, we told them what we do. They didn't respond. I don't know. Whatever. They just don't even care. We have a terrible habit of this, a common mistake. Here's another common mistake. Quit talking about yourself. Quit talking about yourself. Nobody cares. I see all these great videos and they start off with, my name's Sam and I'm with and we do. I didn't ask you for that information. You know what my video starts with? What's up, Sai? I don't know how many videos you get like this, but the reason I'm reaching out to you is 100% about you. Not at all about me. You don't care who I am. You're going to get there when we earn the meeting. That's where introductions happen. That's where humans are humans. So I keep saying this over and over. Number one mistake, don't sell in the message. Sell at the meeting that the message earns. Don't sell in the message, sell at the meeting.
I think you are right. You're more into human.
Well, that's where things happen, right? Think about it. It's 2,000 plus years of human instinct that we are born with to connect with one another, sit around a fire, eat some meat, and derive value from each other. That is literally what we do. It's our nature to do this. But everybody likes to buy stuff. Nobody likes to be sold stuff. That's a fact across the board. We all get excited when we buy things. We buy something new, a new car, a new hairdryer, new shoes, new clothes. We are amped. We're like, whoa, I'm looking fly, right? We're excited, whatever it is. But when somebody's coming at us trying to sell us something that we didn't plan on buying, we are guard up immediately. So the goal is, how do I make someone want to talk to me? That's a different kind of goal.
Yeah. So everything is into communication. That is what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that we perform better in this situation that you and I are at right now, where we're actually having a real conversation. But most salespeople are trying to sell and get agreements in their emails and their social DMs. That's not effective. If you're going to get an agreement, it needs to be here on a meeting together or over the phone. And then the email that follows is what you agreed upon over the phone. Everybody likes to say that verbal agreements don't mean anything. And you know what? I agree. And all these reps, they get happy ears. I'm guilty of it too. We all do it. But, oh, they're going to close. I'm so happy, right? Like happy ears. And then we start telling people about it. Oh, it's going to close. It's going to close. It's going to be the biggest deal we've ever closed. It's going to close. Until that paperwork is signed, don't get excited. Don't do it. Don't put it on your forecast. Don't tell anyone about it. Don't run over and throw it in the face of your colleagues and coworkers. Look what happened. Look what I did. Don't do it. Because if it can fall apart, it will. You could get a verbal 6 times over, but they won't pay the bill. They don't pay the invoice. And until they pay that invoice, that's not a sale. So I've really taken a liking to like showing the reality here of like where it actually happens. This is where it actually happens. It actually happens when somebody reaches back out to you after a conversation and they say, here's what I want and here's what I want to pay for it. That's when you get to say, no sweat. I'll send you an invoice. And then you still don't get excited. Don't do it. You're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. When they sign it, when it's paid, and your COO or your financial people are reaching out saying, great job, they paid, then you can get excited. Then you can tell your colleagues. Then you can go post about it to the world if you want to. But until that happens, shut your mouth. Work the pipe. That's where your lifeline is.
What are the core thoughts of sales?
The what? The cold parts? What do you mean when you say cold parts?
Core thoughts.
I guess I might not be understanding. I might not be understanding. You said the what parts?
I mean the core fundamental
the
or
core
the primary
parts.
thing.
Core parts, yes. So time management is enormous for salespeople. I think that's probably the number one skill that salespeople have to have if they want to be successful. Time management. Manage your time well. Guard the time you need to guard. Give the time you need to give. 100% true. Task management. Task management is enormous. Where are you keeping the tasks that are related to your pipeline? Where are you keeping the tasks that are related to prospecting? Those two areas have to be dialed in, and you've got to be able to manage it. Content creation. Man, content creation will change everything. No one knows this better than you, man, because you've built quite a network on Twitter just creating content consistently, haven't you? 26,000 plus followers, right? Dude, like, that's what I'm saying. Content is the road to that connection. You could reach out to every single follower that you have that fits your ICP and your persona, and you could have a conversation with them. And because they follow you, they trust you. You have credibility with them. Because they see you in their feed, they know who you are. That's breaking the door down using your content. So I think those 3 are great foundational building blocks: time management, task management, and content creation. If you can do those 3 things in 2022, you're going to see a boost in your pipeline quality for sure.
So these things works even after 10 years.
I think these things have come around in the last 3 to 4 years, I would say. 10 years ago, I think we were still in spray and pray mode. I think we were still blasting out emails from marketing in the name of salespeople, and then salespeople were just like responding to positive things and leaving out the negative things, right? Like, oh, all these people said unsubscribe. I'll just delete these emails, and then I'll respond to the people that want to schedule a meeting. And woohoo, I scheduled 6 meetings today. No, you didn't. Your marketing team did. Your marketing team did. Right? So that went the way of the wind. Everything stopped on that front. And what we ended up with is frontline sellers that have to give a shit about what they do and who they serve and what they sell. And once that happened, you saw when 2020 hit and COVID-19 hit the scene, thousands, hundreds of thousands of salespeople were unemployed. This was your bottom 10%. These were the people, as I talked about earlier, that were just coming in, going through the motions, getting no results, but they were coming in every day just doing the thing. I'm going to read this script. If I get it, good. If I don't, fine. I don't care. No care behind it, right? So that's what's happening. That's the core of sales today, is like build all that stuff, do that thing, take the journey, the long walk. You're going to find more success along the path. How are we on time? I do have to go.
Yeah, we have 20 minutes more.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Is that okay?
I kind of have somewhere I need to be.
Okay.
But we can do this again.
Okay, we'll do this again. I want to close this because I'll let you go because
That's
I have
okay.
huge
I'm sorry
questions.
about the time. I really am.
Yeah, I have huge number of questions. Your answers will help a lot of people in the
Let's
world
do it again.
also.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. So at last, what do you say about as an observer, as a content creator, as a salesperson? What do you say about my work? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
I have. Yeah, I've seen your YouTube stuff and I've seen your Twitter stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons I agreed to do this. I chased you down to do this is because I really like your vibe. I think it's real. I think your guests are eclectic. You have this big, wide array of viewpoints, and that's why your audience is so broad. Most people that do shows like this have a specific type of value, a specific type of person that they go for, but you're so interested in all the different individuals. That's unique. That's different. So my compliment to you is that you've built this great, giant audience because you're so diverse with who you'll talk to, and the questions you ask are relevant to what they do. I like that part of it. That's one of the reasons I agreed to do this with you.
I did masters in software engineering and bachelor's in computer science and engineering. So I'm into software development and software engineering. I'm not into sales. I'm not into communication. But I'm doing this just to satisfy my urge. So how this is going to be helpful for me if I work in IT in coming days?
Yeah. So first of all, having the audience that you have immediately gives you credibility as a professional. There will not be a lot of candidates that come in and interview for their software engineering position that have a Twitter following of 26,000 people. There won't be. Most of those people won't have a Twitter account because they're IT professionals. So that's one way it's going to help you. But here's another way. Over the years that you've been doing this, you've collected a lot of knowledge about a lot of industries. Your value as a builder, a problem solver, a coder is exponentially greater than any of your competition because you've spent all this time learning from other people that already do the job. Your genuine curiosity has put you in a position to collect knowledge from some of the best thought leaders out there and from people that just do the job. Not necessarily a thought leader, but just people that do it every day. So I think you're one up on a lot of your competition when you go out there and you go look for that job. Man, the credibility that you have already will put you in a really strong position.
Thank you, sir. It means a lot. Experienced person like you who is already in the industry and who is making things possible and who is being inspiration for a lot of people and who is being the symbol for sales. It gives me high and it made my night. So thank you very much. I don't want to take more time of yours. I'll interview you in a in a full length video again when you are free. I'll take your time and I want to
Let's
tell
put
more
it on the
about you
calendar,
tomorrow.
buddy. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your
Yes,
permission?
please. Yes, put it all over. Put it anywhere you want.
Yeah. Can I also put this audio and video clip on my podcast website,
Of
internet,
course you
social
can.
media,
Of
everything?
course.
Thank you. Thank you, James.
All right. I'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.